Hi everyone, welcome back. Well, it's a very breezy Sunday morning here on the plot up in West Yorkshire near Pontefract. And I noticed as I walked up to the top of the fourth plot, that's the long plot, that the gooseberries are ready. And as you can see, if we look a little closer, most of the gooseberries are turning from green to red. Often you'll get one side of the berry that's red and the other is green, so it's best to test them. And the one I just tested was actually quite sweet. So if I don't take these now, then the blackbirds certainly will. And as I approached this bed a few minutes ago, 2 or 3 flew off. I think they were more interested in the blackcurrants, because these are not netted, any of these plants at this stage. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of punnets off now, and then I'll do the same each day as they ripen. And I'm only going to choose the ones that are really red. My wife and daughter, I think, are going to make some gooseberry jam this afternoon, so I need to get on with it. I'll show you how many we get and how they look afterwards. And here we are again on the harvest bench. This is a little renovation that I did the other week. It's not the best joinery projects, a little bit of a hatchet job, but it serves my purposes well enough. And these are the 2 punnets that I've just picked. About 1 kilo of gooseberries and about 1 kilo of blackcurrant. And you can see that there's some green on the gooseberries, but it's quite a fine balancing act really, deciding when to take them. If you leave them too long and they go really deep red, they can go soft, and that's not necessarily the best for preserving. And the other thing is, the birds will just descend en masse and strip the plants. So I've tasted these, and notwithstanding there's a little green on them, they are still quite sweet. So we'll make jam out of that, about 1 kilo or so there. I also picked a punnet of blackcurrants, because I don't see why the bird should have all the fun. So and they've been tucking into these, and we'll make a blackcurrant jelly out of these. So it's a lot less labour intensive when you make a jelly. Obviously they'll be washed, but they won't be topped and tailed. They'll be cooked down and then allowed to drain through a sieve, and then we'll make a jelly. So they're the first 2 currant harvests for this season. But in the original established fruit cage, there are more that are ready to take, so I'll show you those now. And you can see this is far too densely planted really. About 12 currant bushes in this one. Red, white and black, and a couple of different varieties of red as well. And the white ones are just about ready to take. And I think I've got 3 or 4 bushes of these, and you can see there are still some green ones on there, but they're colouring up. And I think I've 2 varieties of white as well. One's slightly pinkish, but the other is almost pure white. And if I just come down here, you'll see that there are some more here. I think this is one of the pinky ones, but then they're almost ready. It's quite a big bush, is that one. So I'm going to leave these a couple of days, and if we get a little bit more sunshine, they should be just about ready. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Wednesday the 1st of July, and I've just popped down to the allotment to do a little bit more picking. I plan to pick some more gooseberries, and I might also pick the first broccoli. You can see over my shoulder that it's rained overnight, and the birds have been busy, as they normally are, first thing in the morning, worming. So there's quite a little bit of debris on the paths. So if it dries out, I'll have a little sweep up. But I thought I'd just show you the flower bed. The dahlias are in now, and the sunflowers, and I've just popped in some cosmos. So we're looking at the flower bed, and this is a large bed. It's about 45 feet long. If I just pan round, you can see the extent of it. And at the bottom there we've got the dwarf sunflowers, about 11 plants. You'll have to forgive the cockerel on the neighbouring allotment because he's rather loud this morning. The allotment holder's just arrived, so he's excited. So we've got 11 plants there, and then 8 dahlia, and I've just planted some cosmos, and we've got 3 rows, 2 varieties. The middle row is double click cranberry, and the row to either side is fizzy white. It's the first time, surprisingly, that I've grown cosmos down here, but hopefully they'll fill this gap, and this is a gap that would normally have been full of dahlias, but in this bed this year we've just got 8, and they're healthy, and hopefully they'll start and produce some flowers in the next couple of weeks. So high hopes for the cosmos. They normally do really well, don't they? Very prolific when it comes to flowers, so they should keep the bed looking colourful, maybe beyond the period when the dahlias have been in flower. Just above the dahlias we've got the sweet williams, and then a row of lavender, and again with a little bit of sun the lavender should start and turn purple. They have the flowers, but they've not yet coloured up. I've also put some French marigolds around the edge of the plant, as you do, just to add a little bit more interest. So it's always a little bit frustrating, the flower bed, because you know, you have the early part of the season when you get the sweet williams and then the lavender and the gladioli, but it does take a while before the other flowers come, particularly the dahlias, but come they will, hopefully, in due course. Although we've already had a few Burpee's golden beetroot, it has seemed like an eternity this season just waiting for the first brassicas. But finally the time's arrived, and I've got 12 Calabrese broccoli here in this bed amongst the apple trees and plum trees, and this is the variety Covina, aptly named really for the times that we're in. I've a dozen here in this bed, and this is the largest one. It's probably about 4.5–5 inches in diameter, and they will grow on to between 6 and 8 inch. But I've a dozen and about another 13 in other beds, so I need to start picking them now. So this is going to be the first one. And there it is, picked. This is the first one, and I don't know if you can see just to the side where I've cut it off, I've just cut a cross into the top of the stalk, and hopefully will promote the formation of 1 or 2 little mini broccolis at the side there. We're on the 3rd allotment now, and you can see that I've tied in the raspberries. These are autumn fruiting raspberries, and they're really filled out and bushed out, and they were covering the path, and that's a 2-foot wide path, and it was completely covered. So I've put some stakes in and tied them in. And then on the first bed we've got the second sowing of broccoli and Primo 2 cabbage, and I think we're getting a nice head forming in this middle cabbage, but there are no broccoli heads or Calabrese heads that have started, and that suits me fine because, as I've just pointed out, we've got 12 to eat on the other bed. So with a bit of luck these will come after we've finished harvesting the others. And then on the next bed there's a row of Ironman broccoli in the middle of the blue cloche there at the top of this path. So and I've got some more that I've just pricked out, and they'll be ready to plant in a bed up at the top there on the top allotment, maybe in a week, 10 days time. So hopefully we should be okay for broccoli. The Borlotto dwarf French bean has really bushed it out as well, benefited from the rain, and the leaves are quite large on this one, and I think that might be an indicator, as I suggested in the last update, that the beans will be quite large as well. We'll see, but I think that may be the case. They are a very colourful bean though, the Borlotti. And then the same is true of the Broadbeans as well. These have filled out nicely, and you'll be pleased to hear that the beans are now ready to be picked. The pods have filled out nicely, even on the larger ones. So I'm going to pick some of these now, and I'm going to take them along with some gooseberries to my cousin Ron, who's still not very well. His vision's been affected by the virus that he had, so he's only been down once in the last 4 months, and I dare say I'll be back again in the next couple of weeks, but I'd just like him to have his share of the produce as well. And here we are, a couple of broad beans picked for Ron. These should give him a taste of things to come. Well, that's it for this update. A mini update for the middle of the week, and finished with a mini harvest. I've finished collecting a few things now for Ron, and I'm going to take those over to him. We've got some Germo overwintering shallots, and they're a really lovely size, as you can see. I'm going to give him the first broccoli of the season, a nice fem spot cucumber, a few mixed Monge 2, a bag of kestrel potatoes, and some of those are quite large, a punnet of gooseberries, and they are really sweet. And I can tell I've eaten them. I've eaten quite a few while I've been picking, so I might have an upset stomach later on in the day. And the first broad beans of the season. So that's it. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. Please feel free to comment. I really enjoy interacting with people. Take care. Enjoy the rest of the week. Catch you later. Bye.